And welcome back, everyone, to What If Joey Was a Red Eyes Player? The final fight. Yeah, we've reached the end. This really is just a bonus episode. We reached the end of Joey's arc with him becoming, the world champion duelist in the world, beating Yugi straight out finally in an official match. But there is still one last duel for Joey to actually have to truly prove his worth, at least to him and to said person. And that is the true rematch, the true duel between Kaiba and Joey. Now, let me rephrase that. With Kaiba and Joey. There we go. Now, once again, I'm kind of just consolidating it down a little bit. I'm also not feeling incredibly hot today. I don't feel god awful, but just not enough that I wanted to go through all the effort of the cards on the screen. So, several things had to basically be asked about this. The big thing is, how was I going to do a duel with Joey and Kaiba here? And honestly, what I just determined to do was use Kaiba's deck in a duel that he did. Not against Joey, mind you, but with someone else, where I feel like he and Joey would have dueled. What I mean by that sentence, the structure was terrible, is that the point in time that they would be dueling in this scenario is the point in time I took Kaiba and looked at a duel he did. This duel does not take place during the Pyramid of Light, obviously. It's not, because that takes place shortly after Battle City. And Joey only has technically one or two on-screen duels that aren't even true duels. We're seeing the beginning and the in-between of a lot of those duels. So Pyramid of Light wasn't going to happen. Dark Side Dimension, Joey doesn't duel at all in that movie. So beyond that, I'm like, Dark Side Dimension just doesn't seem to work in my mind for when Joey and Kaiba would be dueling. But what Kaiba's deck ultimately is like around, say, the Kaiba Grand Tournament arc, when he fights Siegfried, that I think is right around where Kaiba's deck would be, and right around the time Joey, after he claims the title of the best, would be challenged directly by Kaiba for that title. And so, shortly after, but before the dawn of the duel, Joey, now the number one duelist in the world, is kind of getting promotions that he's kind of overwhelmed as he's like walking out the corner. It's like, oh man, popularity really gets to you after a while. He sees Kaiba standing there. Wheeler, Kaiba, what can I do for you? I think you know exactly why I'm here. Well, we have one last score to settle, don't we? Well, I guess we do, don't we, rich boy? All right, you're on, Kaiba. You named the time and place. Right here. Time is now. The place. And just takes him into the arena. And so Kaiba and Joey finally have their duel. Now, the duel starts off. Kaiba did go first in the duel with Siegfried, so I chose to have him go first here. His opening hand was X-Head Cannon, Z Metal Tank, Clone Dragon, which is apparently like a level 4 monster that you can summon immediately with another monster and make it a copy of said monster. He had flat level 4, which when a monster is destroyed, both the opponent and you get to special summon a level 4 monster from your deck. As well as, Magical Trick Mirror if he is attacked, and Negate Attack. If he is attacked, he can play a spell from the opponent's graveyard is what he can do. And so, he goes first. He summons his X-Head Cannon in attack mode. So he then sets his Magical Trick Mirror and Negate Attack face down. And he ends his turn. Joey's opening hand consists of Red Eyes Black Check, or Red Eyes Black Dragon, Black Metal Dragon, Fairy Box, Giant Trunade, and Nutrient Z. Joey goes into Giant Trunade. This fucks Kaiba's strategy up pretty hard, because now he's going to summon Red Eyes Black Chick, sacrifices, summon Red Eyes Black Dragon, and attack that X-Head Cannon, dealing 600 points of damage in the first damage of the duel. Kaiba's not happy about this, and so as Joey proceeds to set Fairy Box face down and ends his turn. Why doesn't Joey set Nutrient Z face down? It's actually very simple. Joey doesn't really need to. He's got all of his life still there. Kaiba probably doesn't have a one-shot move to kill him, at least not at this point in time. really the only thing hypothetically he could do to one-shot Joey right now against his Red Eyes, he'd have to have a creature with 6,400 plus attack. If hypothetically he was able to get out his Blue Eyes Ultimate and play Megamorph, which we did see he used in his deck in the Pyramid of Light, then maybe he could one-shot Joey? Maybe. But that's a big maybe. Regardless, it's Kaiba's turn. Kaiba's turn, he draws Pitch Black Dragon. He summons Z Metal Tank with Clone Dragon into defense mode, then resets both of his face-down cards. Joey draws, and he gets Gearfried, the Red Eyes Iron Knight. He summons it to attack, but Kaiba obviously activates and negate attack. Joey doesn't do much. So he ends his turn. It's Kaiba's move. Kaiba draws Pot of Greed, which gives him Soul Absorption and Dimension Fusion. Kaiba sets flat level 0 face down. Flat level 4. Why did I say level 0? Face down. He summons his Pitch Black Dragon in defense mode and ends his turn. Now it's Joey's turn. And people did ask if I was going to add this card into the deck, and I did. And I did this all randomly for Joey, by the way. So these came up almost like perfect counter cards to Kaiba in this particular duel. He draws Release Restraint. He activates Release Restraint, which turns Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight into Gearfried the Red Eyes Swordsman. Now, that is a creature where it doesn't exist. Gearfried the Red Eyes Iron Knight, I keep doing it with the Joey voice, but Red Eyes Iron Knight exists. But Gearfried the Red Eyes Swordsman doesn't exist. There is, however, Gearfried the Swordmaster. Gearfried the Swordmaster has an effect that when it is special summoned, it cannot be normal summoned /set, must be special summon Release Restraint each time an equipped card is equipped to this card, destroy one target monster, which actually means a really big thing here. I actually screwed this up, but I'll explain how I screwed it up and how I will kind of course correct myself as I go along. He still summons it, however, and he equips his Red Eyes Black Dragon with Black Metal Dragon, giving it 3,000 attack. He then goes in, he attacks with Pitch Black Dragon, and with, he attacks he attacks Pitch Black Dragon, and he attacks the Clone Dragon Z Metal Tank. Why? Well, I did want to set it up a little bit here. So, it is now Kaiba's turn. Now, with Kaiba's draws from here on out, it got a little tricky because at this point in the duel, Kaiba, I believe, did have his XYZ Dragon Cannon on the field. Add on to the fact that Siegfried had put the Nibelung's Ring on him, which allowed him to draw 2 cards. So I had to look at the cards he was drawing at the time and figure out, okay, what exactly is he going to be capable of summoning here or playing? So the order that they come in is Attack Guidance Armor. He sets Attack Guidance Armor and he ends his turn. But keep in mind too, he also activates the area level 0. I keep saying 0, area level 4 to bring out the White Dragon. So he has Z Metal Tank and White Dragon. Again, and Joey brought out his Masked Dragon. I should point that out. So Joey draws, and he summons Lord of T in attack mode, which means that Attack Guidance Armor actually means shit to any of his creatures, basically. To accept for one. And when you should know it, Joey's keeping his Masked Dragon in defense mode. Lord of T is an attack, but he can't get over any of those guys. So Gearfried attacks, and Kaiba activates his face-down card, Attack Guidance Armor. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. Which one would he have Gearfried swing into? Would he have Gearfried swing into the Lord of D to free up his ability to target the dragons? Or would he swing into Red Eyes and remove the 2600 beat stick that's currently on the field? And legitimately, that's a tough question to answer because both are viable options. More life point damage would be great because Joey actually hasn't taken any damage yet in the duel. Personally, I went with the Red Eyes play. Attacking the Red Eyes, so he now completely loses another monster on the field. A big monster, too. Then Kaiba then swings in, Joey swings in with Z Metal Tank, or with Red Eyes Black Dragon against Z Metal Tank, and ends his turn. So now it's Kaiba's turn, and he draws Monster Reborn. Now, if you actually look at what this card says, and the animes can be, you can use the anime as interpretive, but it says, cannot be normal summon or set. Great. Must be special summon with release restraint. Now, usually, after you have special summoned something with its specific requirements, the first time at least, it can then be special summoned through other means like Call the Haunt to Premature Burial, Monster Reborn, etc. That's the treatment I'm going with here, more or less, is that Kaiba brings back the, brings back Gearfried the Swordsmaster. Now, unfortunately, he also doesn't run a lot of equip cards. And in fact, Joey's deck in this version, I think I have one copy like Dragon Treasure or something here. Do I have Dragon Treasure? No, I don't. There are no equip cards in this deck. So this card actually doesn't serve much point beyond the Red Eyes secondary effect I gave it, which it couldn't activate because there were no Red Eyes in the graveyard. In essence, what this secondary effect would do is bring back a Red Eyes monster at equal or lesser level to the battlefield. But Red Eyes Black Chick doesn't count because it's actually not a Red Eyes monster, technically. Anyway, so he summons the Gabriel, and then he attacks into the Lord of D. This causes Joey to take a huge hit to his life points. Kaiba also has the advantage of still having FY Metal Tank on the field, and therefore ends his turn there. It is Joey's turn. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Joey activated Fairy Box at this point. He flipped his coin, and he failed his flip. So he did still take 1,400 points of damage, add on to the 4 he had already taken. So he's down to 2,200. Joey would go. It's Joey's turn. He draws Premature Burial. He, unfortunately, he's going to not pay Fairy Box. He then attacks with his, with his, with his Red Eyes. How was I blanking on the Red Eyes? I'm just, each time an equip card is equipped to this card. Yep. So, I mean, technically, this effect can go off with this move. So, he attacks Gearfried, then he activates Premature Burial, which brings him back from the grave. And because this is an equip card, I don't know. Let me know if, first up, there's probably rules in the actual world where maybe it can't be special summoned. For the sake of this video, we're saying it can be. Let me know, though, if that play can work. So he brings it back, destroys Z Metal Tank, and ends his, or Y Dragon, and ends his turn. It is here where the final turn of the duel happens. Kaiba draws, and he draws his Blue Eyes White Dragon, but it's irrelevant. He can't play it. Soul Absorption and Dimension Fusion, which would have been great to use in combo with the XYZ Dragon components, is unable to be played. And so Kaiba just sets 2 cards face down, at best hoping maybe he can bluff Joey, but he's seen Joey grow enough to know he's not going to be able to bluff him off this. And sure enough, Joey's like, all right, Rich Boy, this is it. Go, Red Eyes Black Dragon. And Kaiba's just like, ugh. He just gives him a begrudging smirk. He's like, you win this time, Wheeler. And he's like, I acknowledge you. And so Joey defeats Kaiba at long last. He is truly the greatest duelist of his time. Not the king of games, that will be Yami and Yugi, but he is the number 1 duelist in the world. And with that, folks, after a not arduous, but long-winded series with for I think we're at 11 parts, 10 parts, something like that. It is over. The Joey Red Eyes Red Eyes Duelist What If is over. So that means I've now got to put up a poll to ask you what you want to see for the next What If. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you folks next time. Later.